imagine this. The 30th anniversary of Princess Diana's tragic death arrives, and instead of quiet remembrance, the headlines explode with talk of a Netflix spectacle produced by none other than her own son, Prince Harry. For many, this feels less like a tribute and more like a cash grab. Tonight, we dig into shocking reports that Harry may be developing a Diana documentary with Netflix right as public sympathy and global media attention would reach their peak. But is this really about honoring his mother's legacy, or is it another chapter in a long-running saga of monetizing pain, family secrets, and royal tragedy? I'm here to break down the story, the motives, and the fallout. From Prince William's quiet loyalty to the crown, to Netflix's hunger for controversy, to Meghan's rumored influence, behind the scenes, nothing will be left unexplored. Stay tuned because by the end of this video, you'll be asking yourself, is Harry protecting his mother's memory or betraying it? And most importantly, what does this mean for the royal family moving forward? To understand the storm brewing now, we need to look back. Princess Diana died in 1997 in a Paris car crash that stunned the entire world. Her passing created an almost sacred legacy, one that her sons William and Harry have always vowed to protect. Over the years, both princes have spoken movingly about their mother, but they've taken very different approaches in preserving her memory. Prince William has chosen a path of discretion, weaving Diana's influence quietly into his public duties. Harry, however, has repeatedly invoked Diana's story from interviews to memoirs, often framing her struggles as echoes of his own. And now reports suggest Harry is working with Netflix on a full-scale Diana documentary timed for maximum impact around the 30th anniversary of her death in 2027. This matters because the project could reopen old wounds, both inside the royal family and in public opinion. Will the film honor Diana as the people's princess or exploit her tragedy for global streaming numbers? What do you think? Should Harry even be the one to tell this story? Here's the revelation making headlines. According to reports from the Sun Prince, Harry is in early talks with Netflix to create a major documentary on Princess Diana scheduled to drop in 2027, exactly 30 years after her death. On paper, it sounds like a tribute. But when you look closer, critics argue it's a calculated move to cash in on one of the most sensitive anniversaries in modern royal history. Let's remember Harry and Meghan's multi-million-dollar Netflix deal has so far produced a splashy docuseries about their own lives alongside smaller projects that never reach the same level of buzz. Netflix is hungry for another blockbuster. And what story guarantees attention more than Diana, the world's most photographed woman whose death still stirs raw emotions? But the controversy lies in timing and motive. A 30th anniversary is a milestone moment guaranteed to dominate global headlines. By anchoring the project to that date, Harry and Netflix virtually ensure maximum publicity and viewership. That's why critics say this isn't remembrance, it's exploitation. There's also the family dynamic. Reports suggest there was an unspoken agreement between William and Harry not to excessively commercialize Diana's legacy. William in particular has avoided major media projects about his mother, focusing instead on private memorials and charitable work. If Harry goes forward with this Netflix plan, it could shatter whatever fragile trust remains between the brothers. Even worse, what kind of narrative would the documentary tell? Harry's previous media ventures often leaned heavily into grievance painting, himself as the victim of royal neglect. If this Diana project follows the same tone, it risks reducing her life to a backdrop for Harry's anger rather than celebrating Diana's humanitarian achievements or her genuine connection with the public. And let's not forget Netflix's track record. This is the same platform that dramatized Diana's life and death in The Crown, stirring backlash for sensationalism. Would a Harry-led Diana documentary be any different, or would it double down on emotional exploitation for streaming numbers? Imagine if your loved one's memory was turned into a global spectacle. Would you feel honored or betrayed? If this Diana documentary does move forward, the ripple effects could be massive, not only within the royal family, but across public perception worldwide. Let's break it down. First, the cause and effect analysis. Harry has built much of his post-royal identity on exposing pain, his mother's struggles, his battles with the press, his fallout with the family. While this resonates with some audiences, it also risks creating a brand trapped in bitterness. By anchoring Diana's story to his Netflix deal, he might gain short-term media buzz, but long-term he risks permanently tying his mother's memory to his own grievances, rather than her true legacy. Next, the impact on different groups. For Prince William, this project could feel like a profound betrayal. He's worked tirelessly to protect his children from the glare that haunted his mother. A Netflix documentary scripted on Harry's terms might reopen old wounds and push the brothers even further apart. For the royal family, it undermines their efforts to present unity and stability at a time when King Charles and Queen Camilla are already navigating declining approval ratings. From an economic perspective, Netflix stands to benefit most. Diana remains a global icon. Any documentary with fresh angles will draw millions of viewers. For Harry and Meghan, it may secure another financial lifeline, especially as their other projects lose momentum. But for critics, this looks less like sustainability and more like dependency on Diana's memory to stay relevant. The social consequences are equally sharp. Diana's story belongs not just to her sons, but to millions who saw her as the people's princess. Exploiting that bond risks a backlash from the public who might view the project as distasteful profiteering rather than heartfelt remembrance. And finally, the political ramifications. Diana's legacy still touches sensitive topics, the monarchy's image media intrusion, and even conspiracy theories about her death. By revisiting all of this in a high-profile documentary, Harry could unintentionally fuel anti-monarchy sentiment, complicating the crown's position, both in Britain and abroad. But here's the real question: will Harry present Diana's story truthfully, or rewrite it to serve his own narrative? This wouldn't be the first time a child of a famous figure tried to reclaim or reframe a parent's legacy. Just recently, Mariska Hargitay announced her own documentary, My Mom Jane, honoring her mother, Hollywood actress Jane Mansfield. Notice the difference. That project is framed around love healing and preserving her mother's image with dignity. By contrast, critics fear Harry's potential Netflix special could lean into scandal and grievance, given his past media projects. Globally, Diana remains more than a royal figure, she's a cultural icon. From Africa to America, her humanitarian work still inspires. A respectful documentary could unite audiences around her message of compassion. But a sensationalized version, released at a milestone anniversary, risks reducing her story to spectacle. Because for millions, Diana isn't just history. She's still the mother, the humanitarian, the princess they lost too soon. So here we are. 27 years after her tragic passing, Diana's legacy is once again at the center of controversy. Prince Harry's rumored Netflix project could either be a heartfelt tribute or the ultimate betrayal. And that's the dilemma. Will this documentary honor the people's princess or simply cash in on the world's enduring grief? Personally, I believe Diana deserves remembrance built on dignity, not drama. Her life was bigger than scandal, larger than conflict, and richer than any streaming deal could ever capture. The question is whether Harry understands that, or whether he'll once again use her story as a mirror for his own struggles. What do you think? Should Harry be the one to tell Diana's story, or is this a line he should never cross? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaking the royal world. And stay tuned because next time, we'll expose the real reason Meghan's Hollywood comeback may already be collapsing. Thousands are already debating this online. Join the conversation now.